Hi all. I once again welcome you to our second webinar series where today we are going to go through to the Langflow. So as discussed in the previous session, Langflow is a tool. It's actually a drag and drop tool so that you can make your AI flows. You can do various types of POCs, like you can try out your methods and that too without any code, and actually it will help you out to quickly take the decision like what methodology you should adopt if you are a developer, and if you are an AI enthusiast then you can actually create overall things in the playground. So in previous session we discussed about what is Docker, how to install the Docker, and then we installed the 4 Dockers. First was for Olama for our local LLMs. Second one was for Qtrend, that is for a vector DB. Then third one was for the Langflow. So in similar fashion, what we'll do is we'll quickly go to our screen and I'll open my Docker desktop. If you see, if I open the Docker desktop, it will just take a few seconds to open. Yeah, it open. Great. So we have all our 4 Dockers available. The N10 is also a very useful tool. It has 800 plus apps, which you can connect, you can make triggers and all. But we will first start with the Langflow. We'll go in depth with the Langflow also, and then we will discuss the N10 in the near future. So what I'll quickly do is I'll turn on my Olama, and before that I'll just turn off my local Olama. So I'll just quit it. I'll restart this Olama so that we can make use of it. Then I'll turn on the line flow, and also if you want, we can turn on the Q turn. Okay. So once you click onto the line flow, you can click on this link. It will take a couple of seconds to enable the line flow or like make it available to run. It's loading. I hope. And if you want to go and check in that container, you can always click on the name and you will see that what's running here into the logs. If you want to use the tools like terminal, you can go to the exec. If you want to use the files, you can go to the file system. You will see the entire Linux structure is there. So let's go there. Yeah. So here today we'll start discussing in depth about like how this entire structure is. So I'll zoom in a little bit. I hope it's visible to you now. First of all, if you want to change this to your white screen or black screen, you can do it from here. I'll be using the black one. If you want, like, let's go with the white one also, no issue on that. Here, if you see in the left hand side, you'll see the folders. Okay, so you can click on it and you can create a new folder. So let's start creating a folder, and I'll just rename this folder to demo. Okay, so this is the demo folder. Now, within demo folder, you can create whatever the project you want to create. So suppose in same way, let's come here and create a new flow, and we'll always start from the basics. Okay, like let's do it from that. And I'll keep its name is like the demo 01. Okay. Right now, this demo is purely from the purpose of understanding the components. Now, if you see into the left hand side, we are into the flow now. Okay. This is called the playground area. So here you can drag and drop items from your left hand side menu, and then you can design whatever the flow you want to design. Okay. And then using playground, you can test it, and using publish, you can actually use the API access and other things. So now let's start from the left hand side. If you see onto the components, you see here, you have also the beta and the legacy product. You can select them what you want to see or not. Okay. Now here you can search for anything. Suppose if I want to search for Olama, so you see that I directly got the Olama things here. Now we'll see that what are these all important parts. So this is input. In input, we have 2 types of parameter, the chat input as well as the text input. Now, what is the difference into the chat input and text input? If you will see the chat input, it will allow you to do a chat part, like a kind of a chatbot, where you can always keep giving the input and you will get the output. Whereas for the text input, you will just write the text once and it will be given as an output. Okay. We use the text input at some different places. We'll discuss it. In similar fashion, the output also has two methods. One is the chat output, another one is the text output. Now, more important than that is we also have a function for prompt. Okay. Now, if you will go to the prompt, you will see that they have the template given here and it will give as a prompt output message. Now, suppose there is a chat also. Now, I am asking a person to enter a news. Okay. And what I'll do is directly I'll create a chat output and I'll add this text to this. Okay. So whatever will be passing, it will just pass out to this. Okay. So suppose some chat input we are giving and I want to use some template. So what you can do is you can click here and if you read here clearly, whatever the variable you write in the curly braces, that will become your variable. Now, how to use this variable? So suppose I'll say, write a 5 bullet point information on, and I'm writing here as a topic. Okay. So suppose I wrote whatever the prompt I wanted to use. I use this topic into the curly braces. Now, once you say check and save, you see the topic has given as an output point. Now I can click on it. Now, suppose if I open the prompt and I'm giving the topic is AI or Langflow for AI. Send, and we got write a 5 bullet point information on Langflow for AI. So you got it, like how we use the prompts in this. So prompts, you can write out the prompt template. You can give the topic. So if your end user is just writing a topic about it, your entire thing will be converted and will be sent to the LLM. Now we have just given it as a chat output here to test it out, that how it will look alike. But in that case, what you can do is you can actually check how your chat output is going on. Okay. So that's what like can be done here. So I'll just remove this particular part. I hope you understood how we are going to use the prompts. So let's also delete these things. Not going to use it right now. So now fourth one is the data. Okay. Now when we go for the data, we have various options. We have the API request. Suppose if you are having some API, from API you are going to fetch the data. So suppose you can write the API URL, whatever it's a get post method, then body. If it is post, then definitely you need to share some data to them, correct? So in that case, you can pass the data, you have an URL, and you can do all such things from here as well. In similar fashion, you also have an option for directory. So what you will do is you will create the paths. You will select the what type of files you are going to use out of it. And then you will connect this data or the data frame. So suppose you are having all the Excel files and you wanted to do the analytics of that, you can connect your directory in which you will keep your files. Then you will select like you are going to use the Excel file. Let's have an Excel option. Okay, they have the CSV option here. So you can give the CSV files and CSV file will actually generate the data frame directly. So that's how like you can provide the data. Now also you have an individual file, individual JSON, individual CSV. You also have an S3 bucket uploader. So if you want some data to be uploaded onto the S3 bucket, you can use this command. You also have an SQL query. So you can connect it with the database and you can directly pull in here. And ultimately, you also have a method of webhooks. Okay. Now, what is the webhooks? Webhooks is a methodology where you can create connectors, which connectors can be used to send triggers. And based on those triggers, you can perform some operation. So we will take it once we will do it something in an advance or else. But this is what is the most useful in the industries. Okay. So using webhooks, like it open up the door to connect with the another apps. So that's what I think you will understand. Then there is a processing. Okay. Now, when we are talking about the processing, there are various things. So it's like the alter metadata. So based on the input data and the metadata, you can remove these fields. You can change, you can make changes in the data. Similarly, you can combine the data. You can combine the text. You can create the data. You have the data to data frame conversion, data to file or message conversion. Correct. Then similarly, data frame operations. Okay, you have operations for add column, drop column, filter, head, everything. So suppose like if you are having an Excel sheet, you have a predefined formula, you want to add a column, you wanted to do some calculation. So all those things can be done using this data part directly. Okay. So after that, you also have the filter data, filter the values, then lambda filter, like applying onto the whole thing, then passing the data to the JSON, regex extract, save to file again. Okay. Split the text, uploaded data. So that's all things are available here. Like whatever the data related operation you want to perform, you can do it under the processing. Then we have the models. Once you go to the models, you have the language models. Okay, if you click over here, you'll see that what are the language models you can use Anthropic on this. And based on that, you will be having all this available like models in this. Now you also have AIML, Amazon's, Anthropic, like whatever the models. Suppose if you wanted to use the Hugging Face, you can go there, you can input the model message, and then you can use the model ID. Okay, and that's how like you can make use of Hugging Face also. You also have like the support of LM Studio if you are using LM Studio as an input. The Olama, this is what we are using. We will again put the local host, oh, sorry, local host 11434. Okay, you remember this line. Once you hit enter, local host. Okay. So we got our one model which we installed the last time. Okay. So that's how you can use the Olama, OpenAI, Open Router, Perplexity if you are having the like UI of that, and also XAI. So if you have the APIs of these things, you can definitely go and make use of it. So these are about the models. Now there is also vector stores. Okay, the vector DB what we installed. Now you have the Astra DB graph, Cassandra. Cassandra is a very huge and it's actually used for the distributed system. If you are working on a real industry level issue where you have the large amount of data to be handled. Chroma DB, as we discussed in the last time, this DB is mainly like what we can say is like it's more towards like SQL light kind of a DB. It's a file-based system which will be installed on your file and will do it into the buckets. Actually, it's being handled all these collections and all these details using SQLite also. Then you have the best is the face. Face is actually developed by the Meta team and it's actually the fastest vector DB. So that can also be used. It's also local. This is also local DB. Now you'll see the Pine Core. You also have the Qtrend. Now if I go for the Qtrend and I can give the collection name here. So I have a collection or can we search for it? Okay. So Gita. Let's see if it works or not. So we'll have to provide the embedding also because it's being done using the embedding. You can provide the embedding search. You have the ingesting. So ingest, like we don't want to push the data into this, but yeah, search results and the data frame. These things can be done. So search result is expecting output type data. Okay. So when we say about not input type data, but the output type data. So from here, like you can pass this data to the models where they will get like what query has been done onto your database and then you can make use of it or you can connect it as a tool. Okay. So then it becomes a tool. So whenever a model wanted to make use of it, so we will make one app based on that. What I have done so far is like if the Qtrend is on, sorry. So if you go there and just click dashboard. Okay, so once you're on dashboard, you will see that I have uploaded the data over here. I have created the entire Bhagavad Gita, the file I have uploaded. So we'll see that how this thing can be done. So we will make a small chatbot which can, which can actually make use of this like as a RAG app, correct? So it will use the entire Bhagavad Gita and it will respond you based on that. So in similar fashion, that the Qtrend, you also have the Redis Superbase if you are using that. So these are the only important vector store which you'll be using. Now here comes the very important thing, which is the embedding. Now, what is embedding? Okay. So for that, I'll just quickly jump over here. Now, what happens is, if you even go to this Q trend, okay, and you click over here, so you will see that all the data is not being kept in that column. Okay. If you go to visualize also, just a minute, I wanted to show you something. So you see, what does this graph means? So it actually opens the connected data. So these graphs are actually vector graphs. Okay. So ultimately, this data is stored in the form of vector data. Okay. Now, not sure how we can open and see those copy vector to database, and let's try it out pasting over here. You see, they all are the numbers. Okay. So these numbers, so what you see there, I'll just do one more thing. Try to open a notepad file. Let's page 4. So these all data are there. So data is actually stored in this form. So ultimately, what it's doing is it's creating an vectors based on the data. So that's what we call as an embedding. So in simple words, what happens is you have a data, then we use some embedding model. Okay. So the data is passed through the embedding models and created the vector chunk, or you can consider like the vectors. Then again, vectors are passed to the same embedded model to get the data. So it's kind of an what you can say is encoding and decoding mechanism. Okay, but every search and everything happens onto the vector level. So that's why this embedding is also important. And in embedding also, if you see here, we have the Olama embeddings. Now, the only issue is like we don't have any embedding model available. So how we can get an embedding model? So first what we'll go is we'll go to the olama.com. In olama.com, when you go and click onto the model and say view all models, what you can see on top it's written, it's an embedding model you are looking for, reason or two. So we are looking for an embedding model. So once you go for the embedding model, you will get here this nomic embed text. What I'll do, I'll just go and I'll click over here. Then I'll go to the Docker, and as discussed, we'll click on Olama. We'll go to the terminal. I will paste it over here and enter. And we'll just wait for a few seconds. It's a very small model of 274 MB. So let's wait once it installed. So great. You see here, it's written the success. It means it's done. Now let's go back to our Langflow and let's see if it finds, I'll just refresh it. Let's see, it found the model nomic embedding. So this is an embedding model. Okay. So now if you want, we can just try it out. So let's open the vector to Qtrend. Okay. And then I'll go to the embedding, and in embedding, I'll go to the Olama embedding. And best part is like it has always given you like this color combination, like this will go with this only. Okay. Now I'll connect you with the nomic collection name. So that I'll go to the Qtrend, and this is my collection name. Okay. I'll put it over here. Now search query, I'll write myself like Shloka 66 chapter 80. Okay. And now let's see how we can give this data as an output. This data to message. Connect this data. This data as a message. So I'll have to connect it with some output. This is I'll take as a text output. Okay, so I hope all the pipelines are connected. It's time to run this. So to run this, what also you can do is you can just go and click onto the last one. So it will run from each and every parameter. So it got error like connection refused. Why the connection refused? So you can click on controls. You will see, yeah, it's onto the local host. I found these ports we are looking for. Okay, search by number of results for or this also will make enable. So onto the local host too. No, local host 666333. Local host 6333 should work. Otherwise, I'll just use this post.local.internal. Now then stop the wrong version number. Okay, SSL issue. It's not. Post parameter is not expected to contain the protocol. Try using URL parameter instead. Okay, so maybe that's because of that wrong versioning. So we'll check it out why it's happening. Otherwise, it should have connected using the local host also. We'll see. So the idea is like when you will provide it the embedding, you also have a search query. You connect the data output as in data. So whatever the search result will come, it will come out to you as in data, and that data can be seen as in text. But this is a raw query onto the query, okay, without any use of LLM. But we don't go with like this. We actually go and we apply a layer of LLM over here. When this data comes out, it passes through the LLM, where LLM use its brain to nurture that data or the output coming from that Q trend based on the search query and enhance the output into the human readability or in the better understanding. And then it passes to the text out. Okay. So that's how the output flow will be generated at that time. This is what is the RAG. Okay. So RAG is not a big deal. So this is what is embedding. Now, if you go to the agent, yeah, that's what there is an agent. And always, as we mentioned, agents are developed to do a specific task. So if you see here, you have one point only, which is agent. Because agent, you need to provide like what model you wanted to use it with. If you see here, you will find no Olama. You can click on custom. The moment you click on custom, you get a language model. And whenever you will click on any block, you will get all the outputs, like all the options which can be connected with. So suppose if I pull in the Olama from here, I can connect from here to here. The base here again, like localhost colon 11434. Okay. And now I have the model. Look, so it's connected with the agent now, correct? So if I run the agent, it will run, but it will be somewhere just no tool, no input, even no instructions. Okay. So the component agent ID is not available because we haven't provided all the details yet. So if you want to connect input, just go up. Not here, I'll just directly click here as an input. And input will take as a chat input. Okay. Chat input will be connected. And then again, chat output you can connect as an output response. Okay. So I think it's done now. Language model. If you are in a situation to provide an answer, let's go to the playground. Give it a new reference, and then I'll just say, hi, how are you? And we should get some response to that. Yeah. So agent registry Lama does not support tools. Okay, great. And we are having the tools option open. So what we'll do is we'll go to the control and disable this tool. Yeah. Now let's try it out. I'll open a new option. You'll say, hi, how are you? Now I think we should be under. Okay. Again, it does not support the tools. Okay. There is some issue over here. We are asking it to use the tools. So Okay, so tool model enabled. No, it's not enabled. It's even not using tool. It's just okay. The prompt is wrong. You are an helpful assistant to answer the question of the perform. So that's why it's going. It's finding out for the tools. Now let's try it out. Okay, what I'll do is I'll delete all these previous sessions. Let's start with a new fresh session. Now we'll ask it like overview. Now let's see what response do we get over here. Okay, again it says that it doesn't support the tool. So now in this range, it's getting here the options. So and this is the option for code. Okay, if you want to make use of it, you wanted to use the code, you'll see that this one block brought out all this entire code. So you can go and you can make changes in the code also. Okay, you can even download this tool. So tool mode is no, we don't wanted to use it as a tool mode because this agent doesn't support tool. We have removed the tool, but still not sure why. Like, so let's run only this part. And let's see what output are we getting. It's still stuck at that registry number. So we will have to download one of the model which supports the tool. So if you go here, you click onto the tools. You know, let's go to the olama.com. Click over here, go to the view all. Let's go to the tools. The model which supports the tools. Okay, so it's sorted. Tools. So QWQ, Mistral is small. Even the Mistral small is 24 billion. Okay, so aware about it. So Llama 3.2 is a model and it also has a 3 billion parameter. It's around 2 GB. So what I'll do is I'll quickly install this model. The same way, we'll go to the Olama, we'll go to the HCG, we'll paste it over here and we'll hit enter. Now you will see if you are able to see that it says the Olama pull. This time it's saying Olama run. So what is the difference? When we did the Olama pull, it just pulled and it says success and given us the new prompt. When you are saying Olama run, it will open the chat part of the Olam. Okay. Because run means like you are running that model locally into the terminal. And now what happens is if the model is not available, it first downloads and then runs. So that's why they given it directly that Olama run. Because they know that it's a model, not an embedding model. So for embedding model, like you can't run it. It's just for the purpose for converting data to the vector spaces. So we'll have to wait for 1 minute around. So by the time it downloads, we'll just quickly go from here to yes, okay. So we'll be using this Llama 3.2. It will be soon available in our this model and it actually supports the tools. So then there will be no issue. So by that time, let's go. There is a memories. Memories means like if you wanted to keep a memory part available for a chat. So suppose if you are building a chat bot where you wanted to keep a record of what person discussed, like in chat GPT you have in left hand side, all the chats available. So in the same manner, you can use memories. Now there is a prototypes like creating the Python functions. So you can create a Python function and you can ask it to call as a tool. Now similarly retrievals. So suppose if you go there, it's for Candra retriever. So all these things are also there. Now, more important than that, we also have the tools. Now in tools, you have this calculator tools, you have the Duck Search Go, you have this Google Search APIs. So all these things are there. Even like if you see the Python code structured is there to convert the code. Python REPL is there to run a Python code and see that how the product is running. And then also you have the various like this search NXG. This is even from the and it can be hosted onto the local host. We'll see that we'll install one Docker for that and we'll make use of it. So similarly, you have the Tally AI, you have the Wikipedia, you have the Yahoo Finance, and this doesn't need any API. You can just provide your stock symbol. You can get news, get analysis. So whatever the data you need, you can even create your entire stock analytics app. So that too we will create as an option. Then you have a logics. Okay. So we'll just quickly minimize these tools. Yeah. So now you have logics like you wanted to build something based on condition, if else, based on listen, loop. If you want something happen, you wanted to notify in between. You wanted to trigger to run another flow if this things happens. Okay. So those all things can be done. Now similarly helpers like batch run, create a list, current date. You want to generate some ID. You wanted to record that message history, message store. Okay. And even the structured output. If you are having something output, you wanted to pass it to some web page where you need a JSON structured output. So that also can be handled using this structured output segment. Now you also have the bundles. Bundles means like they are related to few things. So if you are going to the LangChain, so all the tools of the LangChain, all the things like which are the connectors built for the LangChain, they are here. So whatever you see onto the top part, they are based on the methods. Okay, like input output, and downside is bundles are based on the company wise. Okay, so if you click on Notion, you will get all the details of Notion, whether they are input, output rules, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's how those things are arranged over here. So I hope you got a little understanding about this. Meanwhile, we'll go and we'll see that it's downloaded, and you see that it's prompt for asking me the question. If I say hi, it's answering me. Let's say bye to it. Okay. So it again given us the prompt. So now we have one more model installed. What I'll do is I'll quickly refresh it. And if you see, we got the new model. Now let's run it out. It will run this time because it supports the tool. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it runs successfully. Now let's go to the chat input. We'll go to the playground and delete all of previous things and we'll create a new. And now we'll say, hi, how are you? And we are expecting one answer from this agent. Current date, get current date? No. Okay, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How can I assist you today? Great. Okay. Now, even if you see what we can do is we can now do very different thing. If I go to the control and let me enable the tool. Okay. So I'm enabling the tools now. Okay. We also had an helper. So I'll go there and I'll see that the current date. Okay. I'll connect it with the argument and I'll get it from this here. This here callback. Okay. So this will give it the current date. Okay. This is the instruction going to that. Now, instead of that, what I'll do is I'll also create a new prompt. Okay. And instead of this going as an agent instruction, I'll create fetch the latest news on topic news related to, because it may not be sure that you get near created. Okay. Check and save. Now it's asking for a date. I'll pass the current date. Instead of this, I'll give this as an topic and this will go as an output. Okay. So this is done. Now it need to search the internet. So I'll go and ask for I'll go search. Okay. And I'll ask it to use being as a tool and I'll connect it to the tool. Okay. Now it will make use of it. Language model, everything is set, everything is done. Agent instruction, you are helpful, assistant, use tools, search latest information, connection, and answer the question, perform task. Okay, something what we have given. Now let's go to this topic. I'll open a new thing. Now we'll say uh, tariff for between China and USA. Sorry. Well, let's see what response we are getting. So you will say that it's accessing the DuckDuckGo, it executed, it fetched the content as in text. Now it's also evaluating that part. I think if you'll open, you will see that what things are running. Okay. So you can see. So I'll just minimize it. First, we'll see this is the response. The latest news on tariff war between China and USA as of April 13, 2025. Okay, it's today's date. And this is what it fetched from the internet. Okay. Uh, Also, if you'll click over here, you'll see that this was the input given to it. Okay. So fetch the latest news related to tariff war between China and USA near current date and time in Asia, Kolkata. Okay. So this entire thing goes as a prompt. Now it executed the DuckDuck search go and where the input value was tariff war between China and USA. And then it got this output. I think it's trimmed over here, but it got some output. And based on that, it designed this is the final output should go to the client. Okay. So this entire thing is done using just by this drag and drop call. Now the same thing what we mentioned is like we can get it as an API option. Okay. So here into the API option, if I go to this curve, we are getting all this information. What I'll do is I'll open the VS code. Okay. I'll quickly close them all. No use. Okay. And we'll go to this Thunderbolt client. Okay. What is this Thunderbolt client is? It's for checking like it's a similar like your so it's similar like your what you use the postman and all. Okay. So the request we say it's a post request. So I'll pass it as a post. This is what is my URL. I'll click over here, paste it. Now you see this is the data and data should go as a JSON. Okay. So I'll click over here and I'll say that body, body JSON I will pass. And if you see, this is the input value, okay? The data what you want to fetch. So the new thing what we want is, okay, again, let's try it out. We say tariff impact on Indian stock. So now if you see this thing is actually running as an API. Okay. So you have this post API, you have this URL, this post, and this is the structure, what you need to give. Okay. And now let's see how it goes. Okay. So we got the response and this is the text output. So according to the latest news, here is the answer to your question. So the recent impact of this blah, 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 blah. Okay. So this is the entire thing what we are going to get on this output. Okay. Now this thing can be again improved and other things can be done. So, but the point is like at a lower level without doing any coding. Okay. We just did this drag and drop. We connected this board and we created one app which can actually go search onto the internet and provide you the informations. Okay. So you see, this is the output you will also see here, whatever they are running on the card. Okay. And at the same time, where you click publish, you can get the option as an you go to the curl and you will get here. If you want to use it in the Python program, you have this entire written Python program. Yeah, you can run it out. So suppose I'll just show you this thing. I'll copy it. We'll go to the VS Code. I'll go there and yeah, I'll go there. I'll just quickly create a new file main.py. Okay, that's here. And the only thing what we need to change is this hello question. So I'll again use the same question. Uh, just see the question. Okay. Now I'll just run this Python main.py. Let's see what happens. So I think it will again take somewhere around 27 seconds, which it took last time. If you go and check, yeah, 27 seconds and 39. Because it's not using your GPU, correct? It's just running on your local system. So let's see what output are we getting. Okay, so we got this output. Okay, and yeah, so that's it. So you are getting at least a JSON output. Now you can treat it and you can share it with your end app based on like whatever the thing you need. So this involves all these things like what is the input value, what the center sent to machine, center link, like all these details are there. So that's how this Langflow can help you to build these small apps. Today, what we did is we just gone through with the introduction of what are the tools are there into the left hand side, like what is the power of Langflow, how we can drag and drop and we can do something. Okay. In next session, that will be more interesting because we are going to start building some small app. And what we are thinking is like we'll start building something related to the stock market. So we'll create a complete app in a step-by-step form. Okay. So be connected with us and don't forget to share it with your friends also. So they will also get benefit out of it. One more important thing that if you have missed the previous session, you can download our application from the Play Store or from the Apple Store. It's Gyan Nitra Private Limited theme. So if you will download it, you will log in it. You just need to click on to the left hand side border. You will get option of like a free uh, course. And under that, if you go to the videos, you will get the access of all these videos where you can go and you can watch it out. So that's it for the day. I hope this thing was useful to you. If anyone has some question, I'll just quickly go there and see. Otherwise, like you can share it with us on our communication channel. We'll try to reach out to you and we'll try to solve your queries. So that's it for the day. I hope you liked it. Stay tuned and see you on to the next weekend. Thank you so much. Bye.